In 3, 2, 1. Oh, the water spilled on my face.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Hashtag Behind Relationship Goals. I'm Fofo.
And I'm Bone. Why are you laughing at me?
Bone.
I'm Bones.
I like it. I like it like strong and hard.
Anyways, this podcast is brought to you by
Chat
time.
time.
I wanted to shake it up kasi diba, shake things up.
Yeah, you can shake things up with your own piece of the BT21 universe with Chat Time.
All you have to do is, of course, visit Chat Time.
Buy Chat Time drinks to earn Chat Time loyalty points, no membership required.
And you can use these points to redeem BT21 merch just like this. Super duper cute water bottles.
All right. And with that, we proceed to our podcast. Hope you have your Chat Time drinks with you. What is our episode all about, Bonizi?
So this is the last episode of the year. 2021 is coming to a close. But before that, kakatapos lang ng Christmas. So we want to talk about how we spent Christmas in this new normal kind of situation.
Yeah, so the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about Christmas in 2020 is how Bonizi and I flew Mommy Bonizi back home from San Francisco. From San Francisco back here to the Philippines. It felt like a big operation because of all the new COVID rules and travel rules and quarantine rules, but we were able to do it. So what we did was that we booked the flight super duper early. Surprisingly, it was still expensive.
Yeah, so usually mom could get flights from the US for around maybe like 1,300
Or less than $1,000 sometimes.
Yeah, but this time it was a bit pricier. And I think it's considering that they're flying less people now.
Yeah.
But there were other flights that had cheaper, cheaper fares.
But as soon as she got here, she took her swab test in the airport. Then we sent her straight to her quarantine hotel. But luckily enough for us, we got the results within the day. And as soon as she got her negative results, she was allowed to leave the hotel.
I think mom got her results within 12 hours of taking the test. And it felt like it was much easier than we thought, because we thought it would be like a grueling process.
Yeah.
But I think that since she was flying with PAL, everything was much easier because apparently, pag PAL, you're all like testing in one area lang.
Basically, good job to the new COVID rules and the new travel restrictions and quarantine rules for everybody coming into the country, because they worked out well, at least from our experience.
And since she's arrived, she's just been hanging out with us. She's just been enjoying our company. And that's what we wanted the most, because she's been working really, really hard at the hospital in San Francisco. And thankfully, negative si mama. So.
Yeah. So with that, we move on to our other activities during Christmas. So 24th was spent with my family, the Daizes.
And it's usually spent with the Daizes.
Yes, and this one was a bit different because this was the most incomplete that we've ever been. So the older sister in the family is in Belgium. She wasn't able to come home. Nikki and Mauro are in La Union.
They both live in La Union now.
They both live there now. So the rest were the only ones who were able to attend December 24 dinner with everyone. And it was very toned down. Usually kasi we have it with all our cousins because it's also my Lola's birthday. So it's a huge celebration. There's bingo, there's games, there's dancing and music and so much food. I haven't vlogged, I think last year and 2 years ago.
Yeah, you've vlogged a couple of Christmas celebrations with your family.
Yeah. So we definitely missed that. But because of our new situation and the new normal, this is what we had. But it was pretty fun. We ended up playing Monopoly Deal for most of the night, and that was really nice.
Let's start the 24th. The 24th in the morning, because usually Mikael, like he said, we spend time with his Lola and the Daes family. But since COVID restrictions, we had to make sure that we were all socially distant. And it was really interesting because there was a schedule.
Yeah, we came up with a cool idea. Remember, there are like 7 families and maybe like 4 to 6 kids per family on average. So what we did was that the whole day we scheduled like 30 to 45 minute blocks where a family can go to visit Lola, because we had to limit the amount of people in a single place. So we had a 10:30 a.m. schedule, till around 11:15. We visited her, said hi. So
And not only that, was when we got to your tito's house where your lola stays, all the families had to stay in the garden area. And then there was a screen door that was separating us from your lola. And it's hard because like we all had our masks the whole time,
Yep.
face shields even. So wala pa yung screen, hindi mo na nga naririnig yung katabi mo. Paano pa kaya there was a screen door pa?
yeah, I would equate it's similar to like prison scenes.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, right? That's what it was like.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's better than nothing, diba? So my lola was on the other side of the screen door, the family was on the other side. Pero yung super cute is naghanda pa rin yung lola ko ng pagkain.
May sandwiches pa rin.
So dun sa other side ng screen door, may sandwiches pa rin, tapos may buko juice, tapos may suman. So kami kain lang kami ng kain habang nagkukwentuhan with our lola. So that was really nice, and I'm glad we were able to figure out a way to still physically be and accompany my lola during her Christmas/birthday.
It was so nice kasi we haven't seen your lola in so long, and she's only seen like your Tito Jaime and the kids. So for her to be able to finally see everyone, not just through Zoom but in person, must have been such a treat for her also.
Nakakapagod for her, to be honest.
Yeah, naisip ko
Siyempre,
rin.
hindi siya sanay mag-mingle and mag-socialize.
Ng full blast, di ba?
Oh, and this one, she had like 6 families, 7 families to meet. Sunod-sunod. So, I bet that was also tiring for her.
Naisip ko nga eh, it's kind of like us doing maybe like a press con. Diba? Like sometimes you'd have a day full of press cons, like meetings after the other. I can only imagine what it felt like for your lola to do all of that at the same time.
So that was our 24th. That was the time with my family. The 25th was time with Bonizi's family.
So the 25th was spent here in our condo, and we decided to host everyone since we had a bigger space to just like play around and do Just Dance and all that. So as soon as I picked up Victor, Lauren, and the family, we all just hung out in the living room, and we actually had an impromptu karaoke session.
Yeah, so it was basically our first hangout with Mama Bonizi and everyone else. Of course, we met when she first arrived, but this was the first time na pwede kami mag-relax, mag-enjoy, may masarap na pagkain, and yun na nga, we ended up having that spontaneous KTV.
For some reason, Fofo and I just decided, okay, we have to start our workout sessions and we have to do this. So that was my second day of working out. I was like, okay, it's Christmas and I'm gonna make sure that I work out even if the family is here because wow, we are gonna eat so much later on. So while they were all seated in the living room, we brought out pillows for everybody to just relax on. I was in the corner and I was doing deadlifts. And while that was happening, we had music playing in the background. Mama had requests for Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, and throughout the whole time that we were hanging out, we all just ended up singing and looking at lyrics and singing along.
Yeah, and then we get to the food. So just so you know, 24th was Japanese themed. Yun yung ano.
Request ni Mama.
Oo, yun yung law ni Mama. So sabi niya, no, we have Japanese food through and through. Okay. So we had Japanese food for that, for the 24th. And then on the 25th, we had all sorts of food. So we had salad, and we had lechon belly, we had garlic shrimp, and we had beef belly.
Beef belly was our contribution because we, surprisingly, we ate at this restaurant
Called
the other
Grace
day,
Park.
And we didn't know what to order, even though we looked at the Instagram and we're just like, beef belly. Diba? That's your username in all your games. So why don't we just order that?
Oh, and I realized that I hadn't eaten beef belly the whole year. So I was like, oh, okay, why don't we try it out now?
Don't. Beef belly, beef belly.
To our surprise, sobrang sarap.
Grabe.
Specifically, it's called a Muscovado beef belly. So I think the marinade was, the main base was Muscovado sugar. And ang sarap. So highly suggested, try it out in Grace Park in Rockwell, Makati.
Yeah, so it was super good and we decided to order that. And we just pulled together a bunch of, I guess, desserts that we had. We ordered tiramisu online and we just ordered like all these like different things. It was just so fun kasi minsan lang talaga tayo na mag-get together sa family ko, especially with mom around since she's in the States.
Yeah, so after eating, after the KTV, after Bonizi worked out, we had this thing called White Elephant, which is the first time we did it. What is White Elephant?
So White Elephant is parang a way of doing exchange gift. You have the Monita Monita where you actually pick a name and you buy a gift for that specific person. But for White Elephant, you bring a gift and I guess you have a budget for it. And you'll choose numbers. So if you're the first person, if you're number 1, you get to choose whatever gift you see there.
And then so on and then so forth.
And then so on and so forth.
And then there are some special rules, I think, right?
Like there's a rule if you want to open the gift or steal a gift from somebody, like exchange kayo. So it was really fun because it was our first time to do that. And I think all of us got kind of like things that we were hoping to get.
Somewhat. But it was fun. It was something that, something new for our family.
What did you get?
Oh, I got cash. I loved it. I got
got
500 pesos.
Okay, I got a nice water bottle from my brother.
Yeah. And to cap off the night, after the exchange gifts, we had some games. So we played Among Us and it was super duper fun. I think that's one bonus of the new normal, the fact that there are these quarantine games that came about. So of course, we have the Genshin Impact, we have the Ragnaroks, but Among Us was a sleeper hit for 2020 and it just works. For parties, for Zoom parties even, Discord parties.
It's cool because unlike board games where everybody's like touching the board, you have your own device and you can be sure na, okay, I'm safer here, like nobody's touching my stuff, sa akin lang to. So I think that's like a plus point for that.
Yeah, and before we move on, for those who have never heard or never tried playing Among Us, it's very similar to the card game called Killers, where you spread out the cards. And then when you get a certain card, maybe like the king or the ace, you're the killer. And then you have to wink at everyone.
Yeah.
And your goal is to kill everyone playing the game.
I think like at some point in our lives, we've all played a similar game. So there was the Killer.
Okay.
There was a werewolf.
Uh-huh.
And then now it's Among Us. So it's always being revamped, but it's the same kind of concept.
Yeah, Among Us is the mobile phone version of Killers.
Ano kaya yung next one in the future, no?
Okay, yeah. So with that, that is our Christmas 24 and 25 this 2020 in a nutshell.
Now that Christmas is over, of course, New Year's is coming up. And yes, we do have plans in the new normal for New Year's, but of course, it's always going to be somewhat different.
We're moving to Subic, or we're trying to.
Yeah, I think it's more of a test run, I would say. Kasi hindi pa tayo sure.
But just to show you guys how serious we are about this, before shooting this podcast, we came from Subic. We drove up there in the morning, stayed there for around 2 to 3 hours just to check out this new place that we're gonna try to rent para may parang trial run kami doon sa Subic.
Trial run during the holidays.
And then after 2-3 hours there, we drove back here and now we're shooting the podcast.
And now we're planning also to go back tomorrow because that is our plan talaga. And we are spending the New Year's with my family in Subic.
Yeah, so the whole fam bam and the whole gang will be with us in Subic. We're gonna chill there until 2021. Relax lang. What's our plan in Subic?
Our plan is to relax, get some fresh air.
And play games all day.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And because, okay, I think a lot of people think that we just play games all day, but that is not the case because we're working a lot behind the scenes. And to be honest, I haven't been able to play a lot this year.
Okay, Bonizi, I'll help you out. Okay. Bonizi has not had quality gaming time. Yung time talaga na wala na siyang ibang iniisip. Gamers, you know what I'm talking about. Yung mag-game ka at the start of the day and alam mo wala ka ng ibang iisipin, wala ka ng ibang kailangan gawin. Yun yung quality gaming time. Naka-invest ka talaga ng attention and focus dun sa game mismo.
I haven't had a time na I would have like, di ba may mga runs tayo na, okay, I'm gonna game for like 5 hours straight.
Yeah.
Wala akong ganun.
Okay, so this time, during our vacation time in Subic, that is what Bonizi will have. But at the same time, I am going to work out. I am going to run, I am going to shoot, and I am going to exercise every single day.
Sasamahan kita, Fofo, and I will make sure that I work out before I game. Yes, sasamahan kita. Dadalhin ko itong mga weights na nandito sa tabi natin.
We'll see if that's true. And Lauren will be our chef. She is our voluntary chef, sabi na niya. And then she said she's going to feed us uber healthy food. So sana maging matchamp and matchok tayo after 2020.
You know, I'm really excited because when we're here in Manila, of course, we always have like our go-to apps and we just order and when we're on the go. But it's nice also to have that sense of home because mom is also home. So she'll also be cooking. Lauren will be cooking food. And nakakamiss lang din yung luto ni nanay. Ang sarap.
So yun yung gagawin namin heading into the new year, just chilling like villains. But with that, 2021 is just around the corner, Bonizi.
And 2021 is kind of scary, but also exciting at the same time because I think we also want to go into the new year with dreams and goals na sana 2021 will be much better for us. So let's talk about our dreams and goals for 2021.
Yeah, so this is kind of turning into a New Year's podcast episode as well.
Yeah, sayang din eh. Like, let's talk about it before the new year arrives.
Okay, game. Bonizi.
Okay, so for 2021, what are our financial goals?
Oh, to keep on working? I don't know. I don't really have financial goals. I just want to keep working.
Okay, so you know how people they save a certain amount. So for us, maybe it could be what is one thing that you would like to save up for 2021?
Oh, okay. Well, I'd always like to keep upgrading the studio equipment. So I'm looking for a second camera. So right now we're using Canon EOS R and we have 2 lovely lenses for it. So I'd like to get a prime lens for it because we've been shooting a lot at home.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get a second cam and I'm looking at the Sony A7S III.
Ooh, it sounds
sexy.
so nice.
Sexy camera.
Oh, nice.
So I guess those are my goals for 2021, but they're definitely work related. So these aren't luxury buys. These are purchases which have to be ROI'd on. Yeah.
For me, I definitely want to save up for an upgrade for my streaming area because right now I'm really happy with my setup. I have a desk, a nice monitor, and all that, but I want to decorate it. And that's something that I want to save up for because when I'm on the groups that I'm a part of, like the Girl Gamer Philippines group, I see all of them posting super cool layouts and I want to be able to have that aesthetic when it comes to my gaming setup. Ayoko na maging aesthetic-less. So I want to save up for really nice lights so that I can take nice pictures of my setup and my laptop or PC. And I also want to have an extra desk, to be honest. I want to have like an L-shaped area so that I can separate my gaming from my workspace.
Okay, so these are things that you want. What do you want to achieve in 2021?
What do I want to achieve? For 2021, I really want to level up my stream because now I've been streaming casually, I would say.
No, not casually. You've been streaming for work, Bones.
I've been streaming for work.
She's been streaming for work. How dare you say casually? That is not true.
It's always...
Streaming is a big part of your work now.
Yes, it is. And I have a lot of branded content that I use for streaming, but I really want to do something and give back to the community. So I want to figure out how I can level up my stream in that way na makabigay ako ulit sa community.
You are a casual gamer on stream. You're not competitive.
No.
But your stream, that ain't casual, girl.
That's work.
That's work.
I earned from that. So it's been cool because I've been able to insert a lot of work for the stream into the brands that we collaborate with.
Yes.
And it's pretty cool because when I started 2 years ago in 2019, I was just streaming for fun. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just like talking to a camera, enjoying my games. And for 2021, I really want to make sure that I make it a big part of my work.
For me, I would like to achieve, there's so many things that I can do in terms of production. So I would like to be able to explore different avenues when it comes to content production. Bonizi and I realize that we're already producing so much, but there's so many more untapped potential and opportunities out there. So we're doing IGTVs, Instagram videos, Instagram photos, podcasts, vlogs, streaming, TikToks. I mean, off the top of my head, those are seven different media formats or content formats which we're producing. But there's so many more other opportunities to explore out there, and that's something that I'd like to do for 2021.
You know another thing that I just thought of? I got so excited. You know another thing? I really want to decorate the house. We've been living...
What house? We have no house.
I know.
We're losing this place in the middle of January.
I really want to decorate
the future
place,
house.
the place that we moved to.
Okay.
Because we've been renting this place and it's been really awesome, honestly. But I want to make it our own. And I want to put little parts of us in our home. At, if we document it, if we take pictures, if we have it on the vlog, nakikita mo na, okay, this is Bones and Fofo's house. There's a little bit of us in every corner that you look at.
To explain what Bonezi is trying to say, for the other viewers out there, because we're renting this condo unit and we've been here for almost 2 years, or 2 years already, we've refrained from renovating or doing too much work on the actual structure because we don't own it. And eventually we will have to pay to turn it back to its original state. So we just avoided doing that altogether.
Yeah.
So gigil na si Bones na maging plantita and home tita. So in our next place, hopefully that's an opportunity that we can give Bonezi.
I can't tell you how many Pinterest boards I've already made. Just like there's one condo, and then there's another one na Bones and Fofo office, living room, dining room. Ang dami ko na nagawang Pinterest boards, tapos hindi siya na-execute. So I'm like, I need to do this right now.
Okay, but wait. You know what? I see a little mini topic here with what you're saying. It's cool that you're super gigil na. You're super gigil na to dress up a house, to make it your own. But you know what? We learned a lot here. We learned a lot in this condo unit during the past 2 years that we've been living together. We've learned what we like, what we don't like. We've rearranged furniture here at least 10 times over the past 2 years because we have that kind of furniture.
Yeah.
We talked about this. Our furniture is very movable and very light, hindi siya mabigat.
Yeah.
So we learned so much. So I think that you're gonna use all your learnings over the past 2 years to make that future place of ours even better, while avoiding the usual mistakes that people go through.
I've also realized that I don't need a lot of clothes. And since 2021 is fast approaching, I think it's time for us to figure out what we need to bring with us when we move. So we'll need to really pack, sell, donate, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's
we
true.
need to have those boxes.
We will definitely include that topic and those discussions in one of our podcasts. Or I think that might end up being like several podcast episodes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So with that, I also think we should talk about New Year's resolutions. I mean, as gas as it is, it's still fun to do, right? So Bonezi, what's yours?
My New Year's resolution is to post a photo, or at least take a photo every day, because it may be shocking, but I don't take a lot of photos of anything. I used to take photos of food when we would go out to restaurants, but that hasn't really been the case as of recent, obviously. So at least one photo a day, I need to take them. Because when you look at my gallery, it's all screenshots of our game.
Actually, what I told Bonezi was that when it comes to our social media, I'm sure some of you guys have noticed that a lot of it is work-based.
Mm-hmm.
But I told Bones that I want my Instagram accounts and my Facebook accounts, I want them to be made in such a way that when our kids look at them, or when our nieces and nephews look at them in the future, they see a part of us and not just the work side. Diba? I mean, the work side, we get it, fine, that's cool. But I hope that they would see more normal photos of us. And that's what I challenged Bonezi to do.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for me, because before I would always have this notion in my head that, okay, you're going to enjoy this moment rather than focus on taking photos. And I think I brought that with me a lot.
Yeah.
And if you notice, like ever since I did like Miss World and everything, like I would rarely take photos of situations because I would enjoy it more, and Fofo would be the one to document it. So I had this struggle of figuring out, should I enjoy it more or should I take a photo? So walang balance yung time na yun.
I think
so
balance
it was either or, and I found that so extreme. Hindi ko alam na pwede mo palang gawin pareho.
Yeah, you need to know where you're gonna insert that quick snap. Especially now with phone cameras, it's so easy. Like less than half a second, you like one click snap and then that's
You're
it.
just like,
So I also like capturing candid moments. If you've passed by my Instagram, many candid videos of me and Bonizi. But yeah, my New Year's resolution would be to get in shape. And you know what? I think this is the first time that I'm making that my New Year's resolution because I'm usually in shape. It's usually a habit for me. But 2020 was a roller coaster ride in terms of staying fit for me. And I am getting older. I am in my early 30s. Right smack in my early 30s.
almost mid-30s, Fofo.
Almost mid-30s. Thank you for the reminder, Bonizi. So I think that is my New Year's resolution. And to try out new things. So plant-based diets. So not all the way, just to try it out.
Cool.
Right?
I would like to try that also.
Yeah, just you know, I've always been very interested in alternative ways of taking care of your body. So not just in terms of different kinds of exercises, different kinds of workouts, but different kinds of diets also. So just as an experience, I'm in no way foregoing milk or beef or pork. So
you're gonna keep the things that you love the most.
yeah, just trying out new things basically.
So we talked about the digital side of work, and now let's talk about our other side of work, which is GMA. So TV. So what are the things that you want to do or level up in your work with GMA?
Wow, I'm actually so interested to see what is going to happen to television in 2021 because 2020 forced television networks to rethink how they go about their business.
How they shoot with production.
How they shoot teleseries, how they do news coverage, where they get most of their income. We know that GMA has really pushed the digital side of their business simply because there's so much more revenue now coming in through digital that it only makes sense that they also tap that part. They have the equipment for it, they have the manpower for it. So for me, aside from all these new things, I also wonder what adjustments GMA will really try to enact and turn into parang the new normal for them this 2021.
You know, I was thinking before, diba in other countries, like in the US, for example, you have shows that are shown on a weekly basis. And I would always wonder, bakit kaya dito daily yung shows? Pero iba din kasi yung viewer habits dito sa Philippines. Parang it's very similar to those in Latin America na sinusubaybayan every day. So I was wondering, I wonder when there will ever be a point na tayo din maging ganun yung mga teleserye natin na weekly aabangan ng tao. Do you think that's possible?
I'm not sure. It really depends on how the TV networks adjust their budgets because I'm sure that it still depends on the money that's going to come in. So given that, I guess the way I see our relationship with GMA right now is there's so much more to explore because GMA is finally sinking their teeth into the digital side of things.
It's
and
so
since
exciting.
we produce so much content digitally, I would love to be able to produce something for GMA online.
Maybe something like #behind relationship goals?
Yeah, why can't this podcast be a show? What do you guys think? Don't you think this podcast can also go on TV or go on the digital content arm of GMA? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. It doesn't have to be this podcast since we've already built up, our own branding and our own mechanics for this channel.
And a lot of people are producing online na rin. So it would be fun to be able to produce something for GMA. And I think long term, yun yung gusto natin. Matry din natin yun, di ba? Kasi we started in GMA as talents. And it's also interesting to see kung saan papunta yung relationship and yung workflow namin with GMA in the future. Speaking of shows, Fofo, I didn't write this down, pero ano yung gusto mong goal for the podcast for
Okay.
2021?
Before we get to the goal for the podcast, I'd like to sneak in a quick promo for Pard. So Pard is a YouTube channel backed by Dos Quizon, Antonio Quitania, Sef Cadayona, Paolo Contes, Rodfil. So very adult yung topics nila
Niche
doon.
market.
Very niche market sila, but I'm so proud of them because they really jumped in head first into producing their own content. So please do support them. And I think that's a good example of what I mean, where GMA has so much talent in terms of not just acting, but also talent who can produce and create their own. And there's so much opportunity. And I just can't wait for the time that we start collabing. Because I see it. I feel like that is the direction that we will all take.
And if you watch their YouTube channel, may parental guidance po yan.
Yeah.
So, just a heads up lang.
Careful, kids.
Anyways, moving along to our goal for the podcast. So, what is a goal that you have for the podcast?
A goal that I have for the podcast, to be honest with you, I would like to be able to reach more Filipinos. More Filipinos in particular. But of course, this is available worldwide to everybody.
Yeah.
But of course, because we are Filipinos and we live in the Philippines, a lot of what we say resonates a lot with our, yung mga kababayan
viewers,
natin. So for me, I want to be able to look for different ways of, sharing this information. I'm not sure how yet, but that's just the goal at the moment. It could be through a website. It could be through tiny clips of our podcast or tidbits. It could be turned into a book, which is a summary, or a digital ebook, which is a summary of all the learnings and stories that we have from our podcast. Na baka may kasamang pictures pa. I'd love to be able to explore that opportunity. And so many things we can do with this.
For me, I really want to grow our community kasi we've been putting out podcasts throughout the year. But I want to get more in touch with the viewers kasi now we chat with everyone during our premieres. But if you don't catch the premiere, how can we get in touch with each other, diba? So that's something that I look forward to, is reaching out more to you guys and finding out different ways how we can communicate with each other also.
True. Cap agrees.
Do you have anything else that you wanna for 2021?
And because Captain America agrees with us so much, he's headbanging on the table, we would like to remind everybody to visit Chatime and buy some drinks and earn Chatime loyalty points.
And you can use those points to get BT21 merch. Can you show your water bottle so they can see? So there are different kinds of merch that you can get there. You can also order the Chatime BT21 bundles on Food Panda from November 16 to April 30, 2021.
More details down in the captions. And with that, we have hit the end of this podcast episode. Thank you so much. I am Fofo.
And I'm Bones, and this is Captain America. Where's Soba? Salem is still here. Don't worry, guys. Bye.
Bye.